Depreciation can be a wonderful thing when going to buy your dream car, especially if your dream car is an older luxury sedan like this BMW behind me. Hey, my name is Carson and this is Rust Bucket Productions. If you guys enjoy this video, think about giving it a thumbs up or maybe even subscribing. Now, back to the video. Now, you may have noticed that luxury vehicles tend to lose an exorbitant amount of money in the first year of ownership, honestly within the first second of rolling off the lot. Now, this is especially true for sedans in the American market, as a lot of people have moved towards the gas-guzzling SUVs and pickup trucks. So why is it exactly that luxury vehicles lose so much value? Well, for starters, they typically have a much higher price point, allowing them a lot of room to go downward, but we want to focus specifically on the percentage that they decrease. Now, when I was doing some research to figure out what vehicles in particular lost the most value is when I came across it being sedans. Within the first 5 years of ownership, some of the top vehicles to lose their value are the BMW 7 Series, the 5 Series, and then their counterparts, the Mercedes E-Class and S-Class. You'll also have the Volvo S60 in there. You'll have the Audi A6, and then you'll also have vehicles such as the Lincoln MKZ, and then some outliers in the hybrid and electric realm such as the Nissan Leaf and the Ford Fusion. All of these vehicles losing somewhere between 50 and 70% of their original value within the first 5 years of being on the road. Now, my number one reason for this depreciation, I think, stems from the leasing market. Yes, that is correct, the leasing market. Most people are not willing to throw down $100,000 on one of these luxury vehicles when they are brand new, because they know when the warranty runs out and the vehicle becomes a few years old that the operating cost is going to be very expensive. Also, they want to be driving the newest thing out there every 2 to 3 years. Now, the American leasing terms usually range from about 24 to 36 months on average. So that means that somebody is going to be going and picking up a lease for, say, a new BMW 7 Series, and then 2 to 3 years later, they're going to be going back to the dealership, dumping this 2-year-old 7 Series back to the dealership that now has to go and resell it. Well, when you go to resell a 7 Series on the used market, there are not a whole lot of people that are willing to spend $70,000 unless it has specific enthusiast maybe options that the market desires. Instead, they have to bring the price down to be competitive on the used market. Now, some might say that BMW and Mercedes and some of these luxury manufacturers make their vehicles specifically for the leasing market. Now, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but a case could definitely be made. Take, for instance, a company that wants to give off a very high-end image and look quite upscale. They may lease out a luxury automobile and write off that lease expense under their company expenses. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if this is the most moral thing to do, but companies definitely do it. Take also, for instance, a company that wants to go out and buy a luxury vehicle. Maybe they are shuttling clientele around. They can take off of their taxable income the depreciation that a vehicle sees. And starting out, it can be up to $18,000 within the first year. Within the first 3 years, it can be somewhere in the realm of $45,000. Now, obviously, these companies are going to have to pay taxes on the money that they get when they go to sell the vehicle, but the fact that there can be this many deductions almost makes it easier and more affordable to buy these luxury vehicles and give off that really good look for the brand if it is a nicer luxury automobile. So now that is the leasing market and the benefits that it holds, as well as, you know, the tax write-offs or benefits that you can have from buying a luxury vehicle and then having it depreciate. But what are some other factors? Well, when we look at the luxury automobile and we consider everything, all the amenities that it has, that is what is really, catching the eye of the customer. People that are buying these are buying the comfort and all of the technology and amenities that are inside of them. Now, as other manufacturers begin to see what the consumer likes out of these luxury vehicles, they can integrate that at a much lower cost point into their own vehicles. It's almost as if these luxury brands are doing all of the R&D and getting the consumer sentiment for certain features inside of the vehicle. And as this occurs, it becomes almost dated in these luxury vehicles, even if they hold features that are still leading the way in the automotive industry. The clientele who are buying them always want what is next. Now, lastly, and we kind of mentioned it before, these vehicles depreciate because of their cost of ownership. Again, they're having to stay competitive in the used car market. And if people understand that the cost of ownership due to, say, premium gas, if you abide by the fuel flap, the insurance, the premium markup on the parts for replacing and doing maintenance, all of these factors play into account when pricing these vehicles on the used market. And if you know that the cost of ownership is going to be super high, that's going to drive down the value on the used market, as a lot of people aren't wanting to sink a whole bunch of money into their used car. They just want to drive it, get them from point A to point B. Maybe they don't necessarily care about all of the features inside of the vehicle. All of these things are leading to these luxury vehicles being super cheap on the market. And now it can lead to being a really good deal, but you have to find the right one. A lot of these luxury vehicles, due to their high cost of maintenance, have suffered a lot of neglect, and they have not been treated very well. So yes, you can find these luxury vehicles that are maybe 10, 15 years old for super cheap, but you have to be careful when going to buy them to make sure that the previous owners have taken care of them. Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you would, leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this in the future. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Maybe you were curious as to why I had this lovely, very riveting book out. And I just was going to read off the definition here of depreciation if you're still hanging about. The definition is a decrease in value of property through the wear, deterioration, or obsolescence. I don't know what obsolescence means. Obsolescence. Aha, here we go. The process or state of becoming obsolete. There you have it.